today has the potential to be enormous. And I'm not just saying that. Today we are going to send our biggest load, the most miles we've ever sent. We are going to Ben Wheeler, Texas. Morning, we have a mid-sized delivery, machine unload, 252 bales. We tagged the old 7800 Turbo Gale on the back end. We're going to use that, our side grapple, and wing it right in there. Then we're going to get home and we're going to get ready for mother load. There's a couple complexities with this delivery. The entrance isn't all too big. It's not bad, but you have to watch your height, and when you're using the skid steer, especially with this Stefan Systems side pack, you can't see in front of you at all. So you have to just use little markers in your environment to know what you're doing. So I'm pretty much putting the bundles down as low as they'll go until I can see the crown of the doorway, and I know I'm perfectly center, right? It helps that I also have my dad there watching. And then we can't quite come in and make the turn with the skid steer all the way. So I'll put the bundles in halfway, back up, and then slide them straight, which is the angle I'm trying to show you right now. That actually did go flawlessly, not to toot our horns, but it worked out well. Beautiful stack of premium first cutting Timothy Orchard Alfalfa. How'd we do?
Did good. No casualties.
Yep, okay, that's right. So we'll get this puppy strapped down, head back home, and get ready for the mother load. The truck finally showed up right as it started raining pretty good. A little more than our tolerance for loading outside is letting us, especially because we're trying to make this what we're calling the mother load. So we're trying to get 44 to 46 bales on this truck because, as everyone knows, the price of fuel is skyrocketing. We sell these large squares by the ton, so you want to maximize tonnage on the load, and then it makes the overall hay seem a little bit cheaper because the cost of freight is just jacking everything up. So there's no room for gaps on the trailer. There's no room to not maximize weight, and that's what we're trying to do. So it's a little bit different. We were planning on backing them inside because this is just going to, well, it's going to restrict a lot of our movement with the telehandler. But we're going to take the bottom tier of this trailer and flip those large squares on their side and get three wide. And it should be about exactly 102 inches, which is the width of his trailer, and he should still be legal. Then we'll stack them the way you guys have seen before in the other videos, too high, too wide on top of those. We don't do this every time, because I'm assuming it is going to take a little bit more time. And I know it's going to be harder to unload on the back end. So let's do some background here. I've been buying a lot of large squares to rebale because our small square market is going berserk. We're very fortunate to have such a strong, good horse market to send all this out of. Our first cutting that we made out of the field, the last of it is right here, which is about another, I don't even think it's another 5 weeks worth of hay. I mean, the barn is dwindling fast. So I've been buying large squares to rebale. I bought this Pier Timothy from a neighbor, intending to rebale it. I told him I was going to rebale it. Then I found a place in Texas that wanted some large squares and shot them a price, and they'll take it. So here we are getting rid of it, and I'll just find some more to buy. You just got to move product. So we are selling by the ton, which means we had to scale this load empty. Dad, how much do you think you weighed? 53-foot split axle step deck.
27.8.
27. How much do you think you weighed, Eric? You should know.
33.5 is what I'm.
You're pretty close. You were 32.6. 32.580, I think. So. is the first of the unusual bales. We usually stack them all like that. We flip that on edge and squeak one more on the deck. Then we're gonna do 3 all the way along the bottom that same way. As farmers, we all know we can't control the weather, but the trucker I do kind of feel bad for because this is taking a long time. I am maneuvering in just, well, it's opened up now because I loaded all that, but extremely tight spacing. 3 flipped, do some creative stuff back here to get enough bales. It's just taking a long time, but we're almost to the end. I'm able to grab 2 now, back up, use the spin function, and about line it up the way I need to be. I would never lie to my YouTube family, so I'm just going to come out and say it. This has been extremely frustrating for me as a driver. Just not having room to maneuver and get the load the way you want it to. The producer I bought it from stacks it in plastic towers or whatever you want to call it. Maybe I can post a picture if I have the energy to do that when we're editing. Well, I bought 2 semi-loads from him, 72 bales, and I'm going to get 46 bales in this semi. And I'm coming down to the last 4 bales to actually make a full semi-load of ideal hay. Here we are, the very last 2 bales that need to go on the load. And it is the last 2 bales that don't have some type of surface mold on them. So I pretty much organized the entire stack as thoroughly as possible to get this load. This is probably the last time I even tried to broker hay. This is just annoying. Let's not let this bitterness of me actually having to work for money and not just free money, because we all know there's no such thing as a free lunch, tan staffel. This load is done. We got all the bales we wanted to. We're gonna scale him out, make sure he's not overweight. This is the biggest load we've ever sent out to the furthest distance ever, Ben Wheeler, Texas. So he's gonna be on the road for quite some time. Dad, you've never messed with large squares much. You had a New Holland a long time ago?
Yeah.
Was it a 3x4?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you ever fit 46 bales on a 53-foot step deck?
That's a pretty good load.
Yeah, 46 bales.
I'd say you're brushing the weight limit.
We are. We just kind of did some mental math, and well, we're just hoping it's the weekend the scales aren't open, but it's real close. It's not grossly overweight by any means. It's just very close. We'll run him across our scales after he's tarped up. We would run him across our scales before to know for sure, but when I weighed him earlier, all those tarps were on his truck. So now we want to make sure the tarps are on his truck again to weigh, or we are effectively giving away money on our net weight, if that makes sense to you. You also want to make sure the driver is in there and everything, just like when you scaled. There's some thought behind weighing loads out. By the bale is a whole lot easier. I probably should have just priced it by the bale, but when I was buying it, I bought it by the ton, so it's easier in my head. Doesn't usually like any help when he's tarping, so we just let him be, come back, and maybe help him with straps. But he's a bit of a lone ranger. He's peculiar, which is good, because he's the one taking it on the road. So, fun fact, this is the first truck that I've ever actually paid the transport fee on. So I'm gonna go cut him a check, which is a little strange because I'm the one selling the hay, but I think that's pretty standard. I just usually have people schedule their own, or they pay the truck or whatever. So first time I've done this, first for everything. So I'm gonna go cut a check for X per loaded mile. I'm not gonna tell you his rates. That's not my call. I'm guessing he's about done strapping. Well, strapping, yes, but what took the bulk of his time is tarping. I believe he has 3 separate tarps he has to stretch out and put bungees on and secure and everything, so that takes some time. We'll go see if he's ready to scale out. Tarped up pretty darn nice. Most of the hay is covered. You have, I believe legally, I'm no trucker, you have 2 straps in your first set of bales, and you have to have 2 straps like your last set. And then every set in between has 1 or 2 or whatever you feel comfortable with. So that's definitely what he did. This truck is beautiful at night, absolutely beautiful. Got them chicken legs in the front, everything. Scale is ready for him. We're zeroed out. The zeroing is pretty important because we got snow cover on it, so it was at -40 or whatever. I mean, I guess it's not that big of a deal. I ran over here. I'm breathing heavy because it's cold. I really want to get back inside. Nice. Nice and wide. This dude definitely knows how to drive. Hardly fits on the scale. He's got a sleeper and a 53-foot step deck, and he doesn't have but probably 1 foot on each side of the scale to get on. Make sure he's on. He is on. That is right on the money. We want to be under 80,000, so perfect. Absolutely perfect. Successful trip, guys. I'll see you next time.